everybody, it's Ben here. Figured I would do a time-lapse of a comic page I did just recently. This is about halfway through book 3 of Butcher Queen. If you're a fan of comics, look up Butcher Queen. If you like sci-fi and want to throw some money my direction, as it were, you could pre-order the book. Anyway, enough about me. I asked for some Q&A from you guys that I can address while playing this, and got all of my questions from Facebook. So, first up, from Alexis, I got perspective drawing tips, best drawing software tools for beginners and professionals. Well, if you're actually asking about perspective, that's tough. Like, you've got, I mean, you can learn a lot from YouTube. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to take an advanced drawing class to spend all your money and learn how to draw. Although some people need a teacher, so definitely go that route if you've got the money. If not, YouTube's your friend to learn how to do some perspective. I could be persuaded to do a perspective class myself. And when it comes to learning, sometimes you just need a big piece of paper and a mechanical pencil and a ruler. And you pull up that YouTube video or you buy that book and you follow the instructions, right? 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective, 3-point. I often caution beginners not to go digital too quickly. I feel like it's a crutch. There are software shortcuts to it. There's temptation to trace when you're using Photoshop. I would be careful not to go digital too quickly. Like, you can hold the shift key down and draw a straight line. It's not the way to go. So, but once you go professional, I would just go with either Illustrator or Photoshop. There's a lot of other options out there. Whatever Manga Studio changed their name to, that's actually a pretty good program. I know somebody making a living off of comics using that platform. And Photoshop's like $20 a month now, $10 a month now. And if you're a professional, you should be able to afford that. So sometimes you just need to go with the industry standard, so you've got support. Next up is from my buddy Sebastian Lee, also known as Tech Supreme, who's done the music for this channel quite often. He says, how to get clients. When I started, and I'll talk more about this, throughout the days, years, months, I would scour DeviantArt and Craigslist, to be honest. There's a lot of people looking for art in a lot of different ways. DeviantArt can be tricky depending on the genre that you do. They tend to go on the low end as far as pay, because there's a lot of kids out there that just want to charge $5 for a commission, because they just want to draw. They're not there to make money. So DeviantArt's a little weird like that. Craigslist is always looking for people. A lot of people in LA looking for, concept art and stuff like that. Commissions, not so much. Commissions are good on Reddit, actually. If you want to do family portraits or D&D groups and stuff like that, Reddit's a good place to look. It's a tricky community, though. They have a lot of rules. So you could trip over some rules when it comes to self-promotion. So either be diligent or just be careful. So Reddit's kind of strange like that, but those are two good places to find work. Craigslist is a little weird, but Reddit for sure. DeviantArt can be a little tricky. More often than not, if you just start putting art out there and advertising the fact that you're taking commissions, if people like your art, they're gonna probably hunt you down anyway. Whether it be for somebody's birthday or a business card or whatever, if you're a little diverse, you can probably get some work. Just be fast and know your price point. You know what I mean? Like, don't go, if you're just beginning, don't go too high. If you're savvy enough, your price should go up over the years with your skill and your professionalism. So start low, build a portfolio, and then once you start getting some bigger work, some more prestigious work, then your price can go up. Like if you're doing a commission for 10 people in a bachelor part, what do they call not bachelor party, but the groomsmen, if you do all the groomsmen, all 10 of them, and there's like a battle scene, yeah. By the time you're doing that, you could probably charge, $300, $400, $500 and as long as you're, it's clout, you know. If they're coming to you, so they know what you're worth, and you just have to work to know what you're worth. You know what I mean? It takes some time to figure out, but you know, if everybody turns you down, you're not good enough. And if they start saying, "Oh wow, that's it," maybe you didn't ask for enough, right? All right, next up is from James Ross, frequent commenter on the Facebook. I thought it was really interesting what you were telling me about your Butcher Queen print of the sci-fi city environment. A lot of background pencils were loose and really just a preliminary guide for Photoshop coloring. Sometimes it's hard for me to know how much to draw before I can scan it in and start coloring. For me, it was a little more intentional in that one because I didn't want solid black lines for most of the cityscape. It sounds a little bit like I was cheating, but I just didn't. I wanted it to be a lighter shade. I didn't want it to be absolutely black. That piece is a little unique in that it took like 2 weeks to do. It's a monster piece, and so monster that it even looks good blown up to 10 feet. I made a banner out of it. And a lot of Photoshop work went into that, like a whole lot. Like all those windows were painted by hand. I mean, in Photoshop, but still, I did every window, every street. There's flying cars everywhere, power lines, graffiti. It's a monster of a piece, and I'm as much a digital illustrator as a traditional. So, yeah, it's really hard to say. Honestly, once you know your craft, if it looks good in the end, I mean, who cares? Just to save time with Butcher Queen, I'm inking over my thumbnails. I didn't even pencil these pages. As you're seeing above, you know, I'll clean them up a little bit so I know where I'm going with my inks, just in case that thumbnail is just a little too rough, as you might have observed already. But, you know, I've been doing this for 10 years. I don't have an inker or a penciler to help me, so I've got to save time. So I'm just going digital to speed things up. As much as I want to do pencil and ink traditional, I have to know where my strengths are. So if you're a stronger inker by hand, then don't rob yourself of that look that it's going to give your piece. I'm a stronger digital illustrator because I've got the undo button. I can flip my canvas to make sure everything's, because I have an eye dominance that I need to constantly keep in check. And yeah, I'm just a more proficient artist digital, unfortunately. I think it's unfortunate. Brian Biddick says, what did you do when you were first breaking into the freelance industry? Well, I sort of covered that a little bit. When you're not known, you've got to hunt down work. And when you start turning that work over quickly at a good price, then they'll spread the word for you, and you don't have to do much. Like your name is just going to spread like wildfire. For what I started making graphic novels, and my name sort of fell off, so my freelance job kind of almost disappeared, to be honest. You really got to hunt work down. You are the headhunter. You are the prey. You've got to go find that little gazelle that'll give up that sweet freelance meat. And it's a lot of work. But like I said, if you do it right and you've got the right price and the right attitude, then it'll roll. I mean, if you talk to Sebastian Lee, aka Tech Supreme, aka Illustrious Visions, he has a graphics business all based on his style, reputation, professionalism, and price point. And he's, living comfortably off of his own business. So it's a bit of a different genre, but it's not really. It's art, it's graphics. Little change of pace here. Chris Mooney says, when it comes to being an asshole and getting the girl, how does that work, and what does it look like? So, I think that's a bit of an outdated mode of acquiring a mate. I think the old adage went popular because people like decisiveness. It's not the fact that they're an asshole, it's that they don't really have any limits and they just go after they want, or go after what they want, you know what I mean? Not what kind of I'm not giving dating advice now. But I just think that somebody who's quick and decisive and knows what they want will walk up to somebody and tell them, like, hey, I like you, let's go out to eat, or let's go on a date, or so it's and to the that stereotypical nice guy that just feels like getting stabbed in the gut, right? Like, no way I would walk up to somebody and just tell them what I want. I don't know about the asshole thing. I think a lot of people lasso themselves into abusive relationships because maybe they grew up in a slightly toxic household, so their adult life has got a pattern. Their upbringing, maybe, it's probably subconscious. They say you try to find a mate that looks or acts, not looks, but maybe acts like your parents. I don't know if I believe that, but I'm not a psychologist. So yeah, I don't know. I don't need to spend a lot of time on that. I just think people kind of, if people like what they like, it's all different, Just don't be so shy you never get what you want, but don't be so aggressive that you get a lawsuit thrown against you, or that your entire career gets jeopardized because you don't know the 2019 boundaries anymore. But yeah, that's just about it, guys. Thanks for all the questions. I really enjoyed that. Please send more. Attach more questions to this video, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and I'll try to answer them on the next one. Just at the very end, just before I posted this video, Billy Steffen asked, can you do speed drawing videos? Now technically this is not speed drawing, this is a time lapse, but hopefully this is giving you what you want. My sound quality is kind of peaking. I think it's my air conditioner, so I'm sorry about that. Hopefully it sounds good enough. There's just a lot of background noise. And special shout out to Tech Supreme for the music on this. Also signed up with Monstercat, so check the show notes, the credits, to get links to what you're listening to. And yeah, probably see more content from me later today, and another video tomorrow. Don't know what it's going to be yet. Haven't quite decided. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Go grab that Butcher Queen. Go buy something from Tech Supreme. Have a good one.